Alright, so before I break this first sample down, here's what it sounds like. So what I just played was what the sample sounds like after I sped it up, but in the original FLP it was way slower and it sounded like this. The crazy part about the sample is that whistle you're hearing isn't from a VST or a one-shot kit, it's actually my voice. And after a bunch of takes I ended up with this. And the only effect I'm using here is autotune. The first thing I did with the whistle once I loaded it into this new FLP is I put a lot of effects on. I have an EQ cutting the lows and a crystallizer with the default preset. And I have the mellow ambience of Valhalla and sketch cassette for some saturation. So I then made an automation on the crystallizer to kind of fix the parts where there was silence. Next sound I have is this Kalimba, which is adding most of the bounce. It's actually an accent for my new upcoming one-shot kit. The effects on the Kalimba are pretty much the same as a whistle, I just also have some reverb. Then I added this Arp accent, which is also from Cadence. I knew I wanted a vocal, but I wanted it to be subtle because the whistle was already there. So I added one from Cadence and cut virtually all the highs. Here's what those first four sounds sound like together. You can hear it coming together. So after I had this, I wanted to add a bass, so I found one from Rio's one-track kit. I'm gonna play it with the whistle so you can feel the bounce I was going for. So I then went into Cadence again and found this synth. And that sounded fire, but it was a little bit too high, so I rendered it out and pitched it down an octave. The next sound is an accent and it's barely audible in the final sample, so I'm just going to solo it real quick. I then found this bird texture and added that with some reverb. All I had to do from here is add a Perc Loop and some chimes for a transition. As for arrangement, I have it start with the whistle up an octave and then go into a part where it's down an octave for a verse. And as for master effects, I just have a soft clipper and sketch cassette with the default preset. So after I rendered it out, I just sped it up to about 152 and this is what the final sample sounds like. Alright, so I got the FLP for the second sample pulled up now. I'm gonna go ahead and solo it. Crazy. So the weird thing about this sample is that I actually started with another one of my samples. I added a switch up section that I knew it could chop and flip into an entirely different sample. I just chopped it up a little bit and added some crystallizer to fill those empty parts up. From here I added this Perc Loop called Aluminum from Nico Barron's kit. If you don't have Exotic Volume 4, you need to go get that right now because it's got this entire Perc Loop kit in it. So when I put these two together, this is what it sounds like. So from here I added two basses, one that was just a normal VST bass, and one from that same Nico Barron kit that slides up at the end. And I put those two into a pattern where they complement each other. So next I found this lead from Rio's kit. I'm going to play with two other aspects so you can get an idea of the bounce. Yeah, that lead is by far my favorite part of the sample. These next two sounds are just accents, but they actually add a lot of bounce and body, especially the pattern called fall accent. So next I added these vocals from Hooked and Arcade called Bleeding Heart. I added a section with halftime and with no halftime, and here's what that sounds like.